What is the main cause of death in senior people? Loss of muscle mass. When does muscle mass loss start? If you're above 30, you have already started losing muscle mass. It's scary. Let's watch why do we start losing muscle mass and what we can do about it. As we age, the natural process of losing muscle mass starts at the age of 30. It's estimated that we lose almost 3 to 5% of our muscle mass per decade after 30. And during our lifetime, we lose almost 30% of our muscle mass. Why is this such a big issue? Why is this a danger and nobody talks about it so much? I have personally gone into a lot of details on this because I'm in that age where I need to take care. So I want to share what I learned in all my studies on this. One of the big myths about obesity is that to lose weight, you just need to diet and then you lose weight. The other additional thing which you keep hearing, and I'm not saying they're all wrong, they all help, is physical activity. You go on a jog, on a walk, run, and you lose weight. But the most sustainable way of losing weight is growing muscle mass, doing weight trainings. It's a must for men and women. We don't realize how important it is. Most women think it's not necessary for women to do weight training. But what weight training does, it works on your skeletal muscles and your overall muscle toning. And the fact missed out by everyone is that metabolism has a direct link to muscle. Muscles burn more calories than anything else, even when you're not exercising. If you have muscle mass, it will burn more calories. And it's so important to get into weight training and not just do aerobic training or diet. You need to probably club all, but the most important insist is weight training. And weight training doesn't mean going to the gym and picking up big weights. You can do body weight training at home too. Push-ups, sit-ups, a lot of stuff you can do with your own body weight, which is equally effective. You don't need to spend long hours. Spend half an hour every day in the morning when you get up. Make it part of your routine. But the impact to muscle is huge. Your weight loss will also happen because of this. Like I said earlier, the biggest cause of death in senior people is muscle loss, because when you lose muscle, it means greater weakness and less mobility, both of which may increase your risk of falls and fractures. A 2015 report from the American Society for Bone and Mineral Research found that people with sarcopenia had 2.3 times the risk of having low trauma fracture from a fall, such as broken hip, collarbone, leg, arm, and wrist. What this leads to is maybe some bedridden time, lack of mobility because you had a fall, will further rapidly deteriorate your muscle mass, and you get into diseases like pneumonia, etc., with which most of the elder people die. You will notice that before all this, there was one incident of a fall which followed some other reason for death. But the fall is the first incident, and the falls happen because they have lost muscle mass, and that affects stability and mobility. The other fact is that when your muscle mass declines, these muscles actually hold the bones together, they support the bones, and it's found that as the muscle mass declines, your bone density also declines, and that causes brittleness when you fall and breaking of bones. The other less known fact is loss of muscle mass and its connection with diabetes. If you lose muscle mass, you're losing insulin sensitivity. A lot of these insulins are stored in the muscles. So when you lose muscle mass, you lose insulin sensitivity, you get more prone to diabetic sugar levels. What we normally do is we try and address this by diet or by aerobic activities We don't realize that working with weights and growing your muscle will significantly help you in controlling your sugar levels. Like we spoke earlier about how muscles support your bones, muscles support your joints. So if you see your knee joint, your ankle joint, your elbow joint, muscles give that layer of support to the bone and the movement. Loss of muscle mass increases the possibility of arthritis. A new research coming out now in the West indicates that loss of muscle mass does not just affect physical, it affects your mental well-being. In fact, they are trying to connect your slow mental decline and dementia with loss of muscle mass, which is amazing. We need to still understand this a little more, but more and more convinced that you cannot not have weight training in your daily schedule if you are about 30. These are the dangers of loss of muscle mass, and muscle mass loss is inevitable after 30. But there is a way to mitigate it, to control it, and that's the good news that you can do something about it. Now let's take a little while to look at what we can do immediately and change in our life. The first and the foremost, and I know it probably sounds difficult, but you must bring weight training into your lifestyle. When you get up in the morning, if you can go to the gym and pick up weights, or you can do at home resistance training like on the rubber band or on anything which pushes the muscles, or just your body weight. Do push-ups, do sit-ups, but you must do weight training. If you have a door ledge, you can actually do pull-ups too. But you must do it half an hour to an hour, if ideally every day, or at least 3 times a week. Mandatory. Your lifespan reduces if you don't do this. You don't realize this, but it reduces dramatically as you lose muscle. Remember, in men, what triggers sarcopenia after is the slow decline of testosterone. So when I talk about weight training and other stuff which I am going to talk of, they all have direct relation to building your testosterone. The other big thing for building muscle, because what muscle comprises of, is primarily protein. You must have protein in your diet. My suggestion would be a bit of carbs, a lot of fats, good fats, but adequate amount of proteins. Protein is the king of muscle food. The body breaks it down into amino acids, which it uses to build muscle. A recent study suggests that an ideal daily intake of protein is 1 to 1.3 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight for older people. The best sources of protein obviously are meat and eggs. In fact, if you can eat a lot of eggs every day, make it part of your daily diet. If you are a complete vegetarian, then look at milk, dal, lot of pulses. All of them have tons of proteins in them. But you must consciously bring them into your diet. It has to be part of it, not as an accident. Don't go overboard on proteins only. Make sure there is enough nutrition going along with that. What I mean is, don't ignore fruits of all kinds, leafy vegetables, because it's not just about protein. You need the vitamins to come and help bind them into muscle. Don't ignore. One of the big things which we, I think, tend to ignore because we are always in a rush, we are traveling, and as you get older, you are just lazy, is to stay hydrated. Drink a lot of water, maybe about 2 liters in a day, but start off in the morning with a tall glass of water. It's very important and it has a direct connection to muscle building. Water supports nutrient transport, joint lubrication, and overall cellular function. The other neglected thing in today's fast world is sleep. And it's so important that you sleep well, and as you get older, you need to get more sleep. And if you have started weight training now after this video, then remember that the muscle, it tears when you put weight on it, and it grows back into size. It gives you the bulk when you sleep because it repairs in its sleep. It uses all the material that you give in the diet and it repairs itself. 7 to 9 hours of sleep, mandatory. And also make sure, like I said earlier, that it has to be in the right period. Try and go to bed by 11:30 and then get your 7 to 9 hours of sleep after that. The other enemy of muscle is stress. Stress is like part of our life today, but it starts chipping away on your muscle. So it's important to bring in stress management techniques into your life. It could be a more complex one like yoga and meditation and things like that, or it could be simple individual stuff which you like doing, like reading a book or listening to some old songs, or just going for a walk in the evening. But something which de-stresses you and takes your mind off some of the things that worry you. But this is a big enemy of muscle. As you age, and especially as you get over 50, it's important to go for a regular health check every year. Health checks help detect things which are going to happen or happening much early. Small things like a hormonal imbalance that has come in, and you can take corrective action. Lastly, don't forget social engagement. Engage with people, go out, meet friends, go to social clubs or fitness clubs or whatever. Walk in the morning where you meet a lot of people of your age, because it not only helps de-stress mentally, but it also provides physical movement and fitness in a way. Overall, one of the least spoken but the biggest dangers for both men and women who cross 30 is loss of muscle mass. We don't talk about enough. It's not fashionable for women to lift weights, for example, but it is absolutely important that we take care that we don't lose too much muscle mass as we grow beyond 30 and higher. Please do all those stuff which I have recommended in the video earlier, and you will see visible change in your muscle mass, in the way you walk, in your confidence, and how you look. Hope this is useful to you. I am wanting to listen to your comments. Do write your comments to me and I will try and respond to some of them. Thank you. Until next time, stay unstoppable.